There's no place I'd rather be than here with you. That's all I need. There's no one I'd rather see close to me. That's all I need. If I could stay, then I will stay here forever. If you're meant to.
Or I could do the twin flame thing where it's like, I twin flame, no, but the twin flame bullshit situation. So I resonate with people. They're going to resonate with that. I can help them, you know, figure out what do they want. Most of them want union. How do they get to union? By self-reflection and healing and uniting within themselves. So the offers that I make connect to that. But it's hard when you're a creative person because you're very like all over, right? Like, and that's where I've struggled the most is like, I don't want one logo. I don't want one fucking niche. So instead of doing things that way, I've created it more so of like embracing all the parts of myself and just going wherever the fuck I feel called to go. But I'm at a point now where I can do that. In the beginning of shit, that doesn't work because you're too all over. Nobody knows who you are. You have no following or no backing behind you. People aren't going to listen to you. They don't think that you know what you're talking about. Like, but when you start getting a following and people are liking your stuff and they see that there's 11,000 people following you, they're more apt to be like, okay, maybe this person knows what you're talking about. So in the beginning, it's consistency, showing up every day or every week or every month, however you put it out, however you say you're going to do it is how you need to do it. You know, make a plan and then like, if I'm doing YouTube, I'm going to have 100 fucking titles in my head for that niche before I even start. And before I even tell anybody about it, I'm going to upload a couple of videos so that there's something on the channel rather than just one weird random thing. And I'm going to stick to a schedule and then like publishing it. You know, you don't just publish a video and hope for the best. You got to publish the video, share the video, put the video on YouTube, like community board, then put it on Facebook, your personal Facebook, your business page, go into groups of like-minded people and talk to them. And I got a video about that. Boom. You know, networking. But it's just using your, like I saw something somebody did the other day. It was actually good. She did a giveaway where it was like the first 30 people who share her thing to their story, she will do a message on her story on Instagram for them. The next, like they all 30 of those people will get a story. So she's going to make like a card post with a fucking tag of that person's name. And that's it. And she just got 30 people to share her shit all over fucking Instagram. That's smart than anything. I love your energy and power. Thank you. The writing feels so right. You know, I feel like I can tap into the Akashic pre-done that like people can purchase. You know, and for a purpose, like say, okay, like I'm going to tap into the Akashic records for this specific frequency. And this specific frequency is to help you to awaken your intuition or to become more, download it and receive the activation of the words that were written like that. Or you can do a private reading for that person specifically where they get their own message that you write for them. This is where you get that and give them a link so then they can do that. Don't feel like you got to make it shorter either. Just do whatever you feel is right. Like you may need to make it shorter for one publication of one place. Like on Instagram, instead of making it shorter, go on to fucking Canva and make 10 pictures where they swipe through and read it that way rather than the little tiny caption part on Instagram. But if people aren't resonating with the big version, you can make it a smaller version. But don't mess with what the divine gives to you to deliver. Make a big ass post. There's people out there who love big posts. They'll find you to read the massive amount of writing that you did if that's what the divine wants you to do. If you're only called to do little boop boops, then the people who like that will find you for that. But don't feel like you've got to edit the divine energies that come in, because that's what we realize that like the universe knows how to work itself. The universe is going to deliver to you the right people because you're in the vibration and energy and frequency that you're in. So if you keep being that person and doing the things that you're called to do, other people who like that and resonate with that and vibe at that frequency are going to show up for that because they have no choice but to do so. That's how it all is. It's like attracts like. We're all, we called to where we called to. because that's what we're being called to do. It says, answer the call. What is your soul calling you to do? Just keep showing up, and then you're already doing it. So stop overthinking and keep facing your true north. So what are you called to do? Fucking do it and keep doing what you're doing, because that's how you're going to find the right people that resonate with you. When you start thinking and trying to change to be doing like, oh, I got to do it this way, or I should do that because if I do, that's when you become inauthentic. Nobody recognizes you or resonates with you because you're not being who you truly to be seen. She wants to be found, but I know she has a part of her that wants to hide. That's a conflict. You can't have it both ways because it just doesn't work. But at the core of her, she wants to be found. She wants to be seen. She wants to put herself out there, but she's hiding behind the beliefs of like, I'm not worthy for that. I'm not good enough for that. I'm not like people might not understand. Like my culture plays in with that. My family plays in with that. My fucking past lives, path from just being found and putting myself out there and being seen because that's what I truly want. But at the same time, I'm sabotaging it because of all those things, those beliefs, because she'll reckon, oh, I am valuable, I am worthy, I am good at this thing, and I can do it, and I can keep shining my light and being found and seen, and it's not going to blow up, it's not going to break me, it's not going to do because I know like I'm too close to it. It's like, how do I take, my gift of like when people come to me and talk to me or, message me, whatever, I have 10,000 things inside of my head to tell them what to do and how to do it for their business. And like all these like making money, like I can turn anything into money. It's like, I go, oh, yeah, wrong. But it's hard to package that up or put it into like an offer. I have been pushed to share, but at the same time, it's the way that I want to go. I don't want to do it the way everybody else does it because it doesn't work for me. Like, here's a workbook and how to, this is what to do. It's not it. You're different than her and she's different than him. And the idea that will come through for you is completely different than that person. It may be the same thing at its core, but how you approach it would be different. So, I also was going to do like a Canva party, like a night where people come and we Canva together. Because I have like one girl that she wants to do her design work. She went to school to design, but she does not do that. She doesn't, have that as her career. So me doing like a night where it's like, all right, guys, we're going to have a Canva party. So like, I'm going to guide you guys on making a vision board on Canva and right? So then I go live on my fucking, one of my things like Zoom, and I share my screen. Then everybody can see what I'm doing. They can make on their phone or their own laptop or whatever they want to do. And we all make like a thing or something along those lines. It's coming in still. Like I'm definitely going to do it, but it also helps them to learn how to use Canva. And I'm sure we'll talk about stuff that comes up. And I feel good, but at the same time, I'm reminiscing my twin and miss him, and I don't know. It's hard because, first of all, like the twin thing, right? Like that in itself, like my twin. I feel like the biggest detriment to people on the twin flame journey is the whole fucking twin concept. Is not twin. This person is twin. And forever and everything that they do that is horrible, they're twin. And everything, and all the good stuff that this person does, they're not twin. And it's like this person has no fucking shot in hell as long as we're believing twin is twin. And twin means something bigger and better than them. You can't, it's just like, you've got to fucking realize like, okay, I told myself this, I programmed myself this, I made myself believe this belief system of, oh, he's amazing, and so if I did that, I can unprogram that and realize that this person's a piece of shit most of the time. They don't treat me right. They don't do what I want. Their purpose for being at the core of it is to make me love myself more and rise up and unite within me. And when I do, if they've done the work too, then maybe we can come into union. But if they don't, there's somebody else out there that's much more aligned to love me in the right way. Then that should be up here and that should be down there. And I'm going to allow that to be. By believing that and knowing that and feeling that and not giving all my energy, time, and devotion, waste my fucking life looking up there at some asshole of over here with somebody that's willing to be good to me right now in this moment and respect and love me and honor me and value me and the things that I should want. But as I heal from that person that maybe didn't get those things and was okay with those things because of how I grew up and the people that I dealt with in my life, I'm gonna shift eventually. There's gonna be a point where it's like, oh, wait a minute, you're not so great. Twin is fucking in. And this person is wow, because they're there and they love and show value and respect and reciprocate. And it's like whatever's in here, it's gonna get rippled out and then show up around us. But up here is a huge part of it. Whatever you think and believe can really fuck you over or be really good, depending on what you think. You're totally fulfilled, or what, because it's not. A lot of times they're catalysts for your healing and growth so that you can be the right person for this, so that you love yourself enough that that can show up in your life. They're always just going to trigger you to heal more and get better and do better and try harder and rise. But if they don't fucking meet you there, then you've got no choice but to rise over to somebody that does. So in a way, that realize they are better. So this person's down here. They're just a fucking like a poker. They're I want to be working and doing what I'd like to do and making money, and I want to be like rich and famous and awesome and woohoo. But when the opportunity comes, I don't take it. I block it. I sabotage it. I fuck it up, and I say, I don't need that. I don't want that, because I think in my head I'm not good enough for that. But the only thing you can do for that is fix that belief system by taking the baby steps and realizing that what you did was that, and now it's not that fucking far. You can send them the things out of alignment with that. Like I had a thing recently. I'm like, I'm glad I was not in alignment for something to happen the way it could have happened, because then I would have probably been fucked over to a really bad place. But if I stayed in the place of, oh, I was rejected, I feel so bad, like that would have been, really detrimental and bad. But instead I was like, oh, good. I'm glad I wasn't a match to that, because that's a fuck show that I don't want to be involved in. So don't always know that there's a reason for whatever. I had it happen like last week with some people reaching, oh, we want to blah, 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 because you made me blah. I'm like, whatever. So you reached out to me, asked me to do this fucking thing. I did. And then they like rejected the thing that they had me do. And I'm like, why would you have me do it, asshole? But they don't know. They just send recruiters out. It's not them making the decision. It's a computer making a decision based off of, are you a match for the products that we have? Because they wanted me to be like a person that shared their shit. Like, we're going to send you this. You're going to try it. It's worth $100, anything they send you. And if you like it, you make a post about it. If you don't like it, then you send it back or something. Is their deal. But you send in an application to the company's like app, and you pick out like what your people are. Like, I connect with spiritual women who like blah, blah, blah. So if you're not a match for any of the products in that place, they're not going to accept you because it's a waste of time. But I could have looked at, oh my God, I'm not good enough or realize it's just not a fucking match, because it's just not a match. And that doesn't mean anything bad about me. It just means that we're not going to even want the product. So why would I, don't be sad about it. But it's all a matter of just how you see it. And instead of looking at it as like, oh, it's something bad with me, look at the logical side of things of like, well, maybe there's probably a reason that's just not going to be the good thing that I would do. Or I wouldn't even like doing. Find like happiness and joy and self-love. You don't resent anymore. You don't feel jealous anymore. You don't feel hate anymore. You don't feel all triggered and pissed off and about things because you don't feel inadequate. You don't feel like you're missing something, or that you're not lovable, or you're unworthy, or you're gross, or whatever the things we equate to the situation. So somebody like, I like you and I devoted to you and I'm giving you all my time and attention, and you take that and in return reject me, I'm not going to feel good about that or myself. But when I get over that, or when I start feeling those things that I want to feel, like loved, devoted, like, oh, wow, I'm sexy, I'm amazing, I'm awesome, this person sees that value. This person knows that I'm a catch, and this person is treating me in those ways. What you did to me doesn't bother me so much anymore because I know it's not the real truth of the matter, but I was projecting from the wounded part. I'm going to put that all over the place of where I go until I heal and start vibrating at a higher vibration. Just accept it and let it go and move on with myself into a better place. And sometimes doing that, when you're in that place of more confident, more stable, and more strong, the belief system, the ideas and the feelings and all that stuff, to see it. Like that thing I was talking about earlier with the people who were both missing each other, both in love with each other, both thinking, oh, they don't miss me, they don't love me, they don't like me, and reading each other's actions incorrectly. Meanwhile, both of them, if they were just vulnerable and transparent, they wouldn't have gotten there. So sometimes it's in the understanding of yourself too, or being more vulnerable and authentic and like doing all of that work that helps you to be more so like, it's okay that you did that, or like, because they didn't even do anything really. It's just like they didn't show up for me the way I wanted them to, or the way that I would have hoped for them to. So because of that, I took it personally and let it like be this big bad thing in my life, and it pissed me off and upset me. But I don't even know if that's the truth, because maybe I wasn't allowing myself to be loved. Maybe I was doing stuff that made them give up on trying to love me or trying to pursue me because I was insecure, or I was expecting the worst, or I was reading stuff that wasn't there and seeing stuff that wasn't there in their actions, you know? And when you think back on stuff, you might realize like, wow, I did say that when it wasn't this. And we think things that we think and we feel, and we base it off of inside what we're got going on and what we've been through. So if we've been through really bad shit, unless you have somebody that's very self-aware and like they understand and they know and they're willing to like be there for you and be strong for you and not let that fuck up their head, you know, it's hard, because if you've got trauma, you're gonna bring that shit, that stuff with you. But if you have the right person, they're gonna know that when you get insecure or you think something, you're not saying that they're a bad person or that you think they're the worst or that you're telling them bad things. But if they already feel that way or think those things about themselves, they're going to take stuff the wrong way, and you're going to be putting stuff out and taking stuff the wrong way. So it's just going to be a big fuck show. But if you have somebody that understands and isn't going to take it personal when you feel like insecure and are like, are you talking to other girls? Like, that one little comment could make a guy feel like, okay, I got to step up and show this person that I'm not. Or it could make a guy feel like no matter what I do, they're going to think I am, so I might as well. Like, it depends on the person and who you are with and what you are putting out. Are you being vulnerable and open and expressing everything? Or you know, not? This says, look at... reclaiming your authenticity, and this is vulnerability. Open your heart, allow yourself to be tender, and then honor the masculine, respecting men and embracing the masculine divine. That's what helps us, you know, like when we feel respected and honored and loved and supported, it's easier for us to give that back to somebody. But if we feel rejected or we feel inadequate or that we're not doing enough, the person I had dealt with, I was like, you know, because they had ghosted me. So I made mention of that at one point. Or I said something about them like sleeping with people or like kind of being a whore, basically. So like I'm projecting my belief system onto them, but I don't know exactly whatever. But how do you think that they're going to take that? They're not going to take that and be like internalizing it as, wow, that's great. Like, they're going to take that and internalize it as, this person thinks I'm a fucking asshole. This person thinks I'm like, you know, like a player, or thinks that I'm fucking like a little like immature, insecure weirdo. And so obviously they're not going to show up and be like loving that thing, like that dynamic. They're not going to feel respected. They're not going to feel supported. They're not going to want to be vulnerable or open with you when they already feel rejected or feel that you don't see them in the good way that they want to be seen, one way or the other. We could be like, oh, you fucking Mr. Ghosty boy. Or we could say something more vulnerable and authentic, like, when you disappeared and didn't say anything to me, and you just stopped answering me, that hurt my feelings, and it made me feel like inadequate or that I did something wrong. But now when you're back, I have a fear that you're going to do that again. So I might get insecure and act in ways that I don't normally act. But when you show me that you're not going to do that again, those things will go away. But it's going to take time for us to get there, because I now have that fear because of what you've, shown me in the past. But I'm willing to believe that you can change if I can change, and we can both work together to make this better. But there has to be that vulnerability, that authenticity, and that communication with that level of maturity with another person that can expect, that can meet you there and say things back on that level and not get weird or run away or hide or feel rejected in that, or feel like you're telling them they're a bad piece of shit or whatever. And again, you can't take responsibility for how they take what you say if you're doing it with respect and being mature and, just honoring each other in the moment. And if they don't show up to meet you there, don't take it personally. Just know they're not ready for that, and you can't make them, but you can at least find somebody else that is willing to meet you at that pace of, I'm aware of myself and I'm aware of my insecurities, I'm aware of my wounds, but I'm also willing to do what I need to do to get beyond them so that I can have something worth having. But I don't want to be put myself into a situation where the past gets repeated, or I get taken advantage of, or somebody does something to harm me. I need people I can't be attracted to a man that doesn't try. Just fucking try. Like, you don't have to be the best, but fucking try, dude. Like what the fuck? Like, get up, go to work, do something with yourself. Is how I feel. But that's earth energy anyways. We're very grounded, very stable, very practical, all about like comforts and making sure that everything is like good. As like, that's my biggest stress thing a lot of times, is like money. Lived with my ex, I had nothing. Like, he put me into nowhere land of having absolutely nothing, starting from scratch. And now it's like, oh no, I'm getting close to like dropping out of 15 grand in the bank. What am I gonna do? Like, that's a huge amount of fucking difference. It's like like, and instead of looking at it as like, oh, like, I should be like, wow, that, because that's that vibration that will keep you going up, rather than like, because when you get you keep going. We just get like, we gotta keep accumulating more and more and more. Like, I have so much shit that I don't need. I was like, well, I've got 100 decks and I've got tons of crystals. I'm like a hoarder. But it's how I have coped with where I was, and now I'm seeing the unhealthy shit and how it's manifested around me, and I'm like, okay, now I gotta get rid of that so I have space for more to come. Like, gotta let it go, and when I let it go, more will come, and I just gotta trust that and know that, and it will, and it does. It's like when I put a little bit of tiny effort into something, it's like, boom, here you go, here's a bunch of money. But if I don't, if I focus on it, freak out about it, then nothing comes, and I sit there all stressed. It's always easily tapped into, but how we look at it or feel about it will make it very easy or very hard. Just like my fucking Etsy shop. When I stopped paying attention to it, it stopped making money. But when I put just going in there and changing the fucking picture, like the main picture on an item, or making like the items like different here and that one there, that changes the energy and the flow, and people start coming in. But unfortunately, when you do things with like several streams of income, it's hard to keep your attention on all of those things because there's a lot of things. But I've also learned what works, what doesn't work, what has the best return on it, what doesn't. And now I can utilize those things to my benefit. Like when I start getting stressed out or worried, like I know what I can fall back on, what I can do if I really needed to make money. It's like, I know what to do. I'll just do that and I'll be fine. But there's also a level of comfort where you're like, I get plenty of money, so what the fuck? I'm just gonna sit here and be lazy. That I need to get out of, like that comfort zone of I don't have to, so I'm not going to, because then you never get to the next level. This is okay, but I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep getting more, and I'm going to keep growing and keep showing up, taking what's working and like, let's try it somewhere else. And then it usually works, but it's stupid because if I stayed with the first thing that worked, I would be much better by the time that the next thing starts getting. There's a reason for all of it too, because if I didn't do all of the different things that I've done, I wouldn't be able to tell other people about them or, you know, feel good about all those different things. Gotta like get back into the flow of putting them on, because it's not like it's a big thing. It's just that like I've stopped doing it for so long that now I'm like, oh, it's another day and I still haven't done it. Like I have this right here, these piles. These are here to do a fucking pick a card. We've been here for fucking probably like 3 weeks now. But it'll happen when it's meant to. And I've never been the first one to reach out to them, like other than those couple of times in those first years. But it's been more so like they come to me. I don't go to them. And it's always been like that. Even when we were kids, they're not in their power. They're not truly awakened to the level of like divine essence of being. Like they're not doing things that are in integrity. They're not doing things that are good. They're doing things that are shitty and harmful and hurtful and painful. And because I've been healing, it's no longer like let me let me make you like me and be nice to me. It's more so like you're fucking an asshole. Like I'm not attracted to you because you're being an asshole. So that's the shift that happens too, I think, is like we stop seeing wow about somebody that's being a shithead and realizing like, wow, you're just a fucking shithead. And it was like I never thought it was going to happen. I never thought that I would get there. I was like, yeah, right. Like I'm going to be this person forever. I'm going to be madly in love forever. And then it happened and I was like, it was like instantaneously just, and I at first was mad, but I think I was mad at myself for not seeing what was so fucking blatantly right there in front of my face. But then once I had seen it, I was just like, oh, okay. Haha. And then I started like laughing at how unattractive it is and like how like I'm like, what the fuck? Like, what is wrong with me? But like, you know, love is blind. So just know that when you're ready, people, they're so out for themselves that they want to act like they do that or pretend like that's what they're there for. They're really not. They're like, there's a lot of opportunists, and I don't understand. It's like I keep seeing these men like they're like there for the like they want to be like kept men or like lazy. Like they're not masculine. They're being, it's like the women are taking over in the masculine, like going to work and making money and abundance and manifesting and getting all that shit. And then like these men are like sitting on their ass wanting a woman to take care of them. Like I've not everywhere, but I've seen that a lot. And it's like, I'm not attracted to that whatsoever. Like and I think that's a Capricorn in me, because the Capricorn needs a man to have like somewhat of a standing to be attracted to them. Like you have to have, like, you don't have to be rich. You don't have to be like always bringing in $1 million, but you need to have enough value on yourself to like get up and go to work and work. Like Capricorn works. We even look at our relationships as like a contract for work. It's like, if you can help me, you know, in a way that makes sense, okay. My sister's that way because she's a fucking Capricorn, and she was like all for her boyfriend until he quit his job and started sitting at home, and she hates him. She's like, all of a sudden the fucking rose-colored glasses came off, and she like, you know, just see other men now and like cheat on him and shit because she's just like, ugh, what the fuck? Like, she sees him totally different. But before, he could do no wrong as long as he had a job. It's not good. It's not a good thing. It's just how that energy manifests. I've seen in myself and in my sister. I'm Capricorn rising and Capricorn moon. So I have a lot of that work thing. And I need people are like, if I can't be attracted to a man that doesn't try, you know, just fucking try. Like, you don't have to be the best, but fucking try, dude. Like what the fuck? Do something with yourself, is how I feel. But that's earth energy. Anyways, we're very grounded, very stable, very practical, all about like comforts and you know, making sure that everything is like good, as like a lot of the divine feminines have been like getting into a place where their rose-colored glasses are coming off, or they're just realizing things that like I've been doing this for too long, or I've been putting up with this shit for too far, or just even seeing things that maybe they did, like maybe like a couple years ago when they asked you that question, you wouldn't have realized the level of, you know, almost manipulation in it. But it's like, as you guys heal and as you grow, as you seek within, and you're dealing with these people longer, you start to balance out and find justice just in yourself and in the way that you look at things. And instead of letting it cause you anxiety or sleepless nights or heartache, you can choose, you know, love, and to elevate up and know, like, I can react and allow this to destroy me, or I can react and just be happy that I'm not, you know, that person that does those things. I'm not so fucked up inside of myself that I'm gonna, you know, harm another person just because I can, or whatever. Or I'm gonna be somebody that, like, obviously he keeps being attracted to people that are liars, people that are like manipulating him and doing bad things. And the one that loves him and nurtures him and is truly going to be a partner for him is the one that he fucks with and hurts and pushes away. That's on him. That's something wrong inside of him. So you can, you know, be good in yourself and realizing, like, at least I'm not that, you know, and I'm not going to let that touch me. I'm not going to let that harm me, because I'm going to love me enough to know that I deserve better than that. And I shouldn't even be bothered by that, because he's clearly fucked up. If he was an emperor or in his power, or somebody that is like, you know, good and solid, he wouldn't be doing those stupid things. He wouldn't be dealing with that stupid shit. He wouldn't keep going through the tower moments that he keeps going through. So he's obviously got issues that he's got to heal and learn and grow through. But don't let it like ripple over and impact you. Just see, like, all right, obviously he's stupid, and we know that whatever he's doing isn't gonna lead him anywhere wonderful. He'll figure it out as he goes through his heartache and his pain, that eventually, maybe he won't, you know, see it right now, but eventually he's gonna be like, wow, she really did love me or care about me. People remember how we make them, are you my shaman women thing that was gifted to me. And yeah, Mom of Hermes. You know what's funny? Mercury, Hermes, all that. My twin person, and when I always felt like Hermes connected to him, and then I put it together that Mercury was Hermes, and like I was like, oh my god, because he's Gemini, so it made sense, like that those energies connected to him. But you know, that trickster energy is one of the sisters. Yes, Maya. This is the Shakana, and it's like each one, the center of it's a portal, so it's like a portal. And then the north, south, east, west is represented on it. And then there's the spots for the archetypes, like the hummingbird, the eagle, the condor, and the jaguar. My shit resonates with me a lot. They usually have something similar somewhere. They're like a mirror, or there's something tied to us. Like it'll either be the twin thing, or the starseed thing, or like we're both, you know, the all earth energy, or some, you know, like we were like a fucking mutually murdered together at some point. Pretty much. That's why when I was doing picker cards too, I was like, if you fucking resonate with the reader, you're gonna resonate with any pile that you pick. I don't care. You're just thinking your brain that you picking a pile is magic, but it's not. It's you resonating with that reader. Like, maybe one pile will be more so, like, yeah, but at the core of it, you're still going to resonate with the messages, because they're going to come through the reader that you resonate with. We're on a frequency. That's why when people come into the live readings, you know, on a big event night, like where there's access to hundreds and thousands of people, all the people that flock to that thing are on the same frequency, and they all get the same type of messages, because that's how the universe works. Like attracts like. We're all vibing, you know, and sometimes we vibe together, and sometimes, or they're like, you know, they come to me to find out that they're starseeds. But Monica says, I want to ask about off-page SEO. Mostly, it's just promoting yourself on random directories and classified for backlinks. What did you use for your site? I don't want to post link on random websites. Okay. So because of how I've been for fucking years, like online, like now there's a shit ton of backlinks on my website, but they just happen, you know, like every time I make a video, and I put a link in my video, that's backlink from YouTube. You know, every time I go on to Instagram or to Facebook, anywhere I've been, any group, any post that I've put out there on any fucking platform that I've linked my website, it has backlink to my website. I've backlinked from like Make Playing Cards. I've backlinked from Etsy. I've backlinked from all of the places that I'm on, you know, and I've signed up to a lot of places since the beginning of having my website. Like some of them are probably linked back to fucking PleiadianEssentials.com, but they still link to my site because my site is DivineEssential.com, but PleiadianEssentials.com still points at my website, so it still gets both. Or make videos on YouTube that backlink to you. Make accounts on places that backlink to you. Even if you don't use the fucking account, have it with your name, because if you ever get big and decide like all these other places close down and finally I have no choice but I need to go on TikTok, then your account's already there and somebody else hasn't taken your name and it's all set up. So there should be one for your TikTok and Facebook and Instagram and all of the fucking places. And then find other places like, you know, like LinkedIn is a good place to go on and establish, especially for like writing. And then Twitter, like even if you don't use the fucking places, you can set it up so that when you post on one place, it goes automatically to the other place. Like from my Instagram, I can automatically post on a Facebook and Twitter at the same time. So why not? And if I'm going to do a specific thing, then I'm going to want to use a specific account that ties to those things that make sense, like as a writer. So, you know, medium.com would be a fucking place to be backlinking from because that's a place for writers. Fiverr is a place for you to do something. Any place like that has those types of things, set up an account. Even if you're not using it or active with it, at least it's backlinked to you and it's an established, recognized, big place. Have a place on Amazon, have a place on fucking, you know, like eBay. Like just have the fucking thing. It doesn't have to be used, but it's back. More spiritual writing stuff and how to combine it with my spiritual abilities. Well, you just, it's usually just whatever you're being called to fucking do. We don't ever see it because it's us. And like that's what I was saying a minute ago, is like for the longest time, like I've been addicted to fucking like my Canva app. Like I make a 30-second fucking video and then I spend 2 hours in Canva playing around to make a fucking picture that you see on Instagram cover photo, which is like not a big deal. But because I like to be in Canva and I like to play with all the fucking different elements and the fonts and the designs and the things, because at my core I'm an artist. I draw, I write, I do poems, I do all these like weird creatively like things that I like to do, and I like it and I enjoy it. But I was feeling guilty like about going on Canva for that amount of time. Like I was like hiding it, like I didn't want people to know that I'm on Canva, so I was like shutting it off and not utilizing it. But my Etsy shop, the number one thing that I've had the most sales, that has sold the most, is my fucking manifestation journal, which is a 25-page PDF thing that I made, and it's because I fucking like to do it. It's like I love it. I'm enjoying it, so my energy is aligned to it. So of course it was going to be the best-selling thing in the shop. But now I'm like, wait a minute. Why am I making this such a big deal? Like trying to, you know, like not let anybody know. I've got 1,000,000,001 things that I've designed on Canva that I could be selling. So I'm going to make that. I was so close to it. And also because I was hiding it, like feeling guilty about it. Like, ooh, I shouldn't be doing this. I should be, you know, just posting and getting it done and getting to the next task. But in the meantime, I'm enjoying myself for that hour that I'm playing with the little elements and shoes. Figure out what we fucking like to do and then do it. Will you offer drawing or of our guides or love drawings? Yeah, like I'm so for my thing, like what I'm thinking with like for the Canva, like I was gonna make stuff like bundle deals, and I was gonna make stuff like teaching people about crystals, teaching people about this and that and the other thing, and then making stuff for other readers that want to promote themselves and learn how to grow on YouTube. It's like, here, I'll give you all the shit that you need to do it with. Now you just copy and paste or, you know, fill in your information. And then the other stuff, like little workbooks, like I wanted to make a shadow workbook, like for shadow work. I wanted to do one for all different types of things. Like I have massive stuff that I've already written out and done, but it's all my like handwriting. So taking that and turning it into actual stuff that people can download is what I plan to do. And then I was even going to make a thing for people who want to make their own deck. I'll make them a fucking thing that they can then decide what font they want, and they can put their messages in to that place. So it's like a buildable deck for themselves that they don't have to do the design part of it. It's already there. They just got to fit their words into it in the right way. Because I know there's a lot of people who want to make like a twin flame deck, but they don't know how to like start. What offerings? It's whatever you really like to do. Like if you like to write and you do automatic writing, then offer automatic writing. But if you are at the beginning and you don't know, like for me in the beginning when I didn't know what I was going to offer or how I wanted to do stuff, like I went on YouTube and I made videos that were like 30-second long, like, hey guys, I'm channeling the emissaries and I was going to do some trance channeling and I've never done it before, so I'm not going to charge people for it. So if you have a question for the emissaries, let me know. And then people would comment their question. Maybe it would be only like 2 or 3 people because not a lot of people saw it, but it grew from there. And that's how I started. And then I started doing that with like automatic writing. It's how I started the rights. Like the first, 20 people that I gave the Moon Key rights to got it for free because I was testing it out. Same thing with the new paradigm, with Reiki, with all of the things that I've taught. When I learn it, I usually do the first people free, and then from there is when I start charging, and over time I increase the amount that I charge because you become better at it or you have more wisdom in connection to it, so you can charge a higher price to do it because you've got 10 years of experience or your energy may be stronger than somebody that just started. Sometimes you just gotta fucking go, like, take that leap. Says you go first, the universe will catch you. Like you can't wait forever. Like there's no certificates out there, there's no fucking classes out there, there's no thing out there that can make it easy for you to just do that first step of I'm gonna put myself out there and I'm gonna keep putting myself out there even when I don't get the 1,000 likes and even when I don't get the billion this and the billion that. I'm gonna consistently show up so that it grows. And if like nobody goes out in the first day is like here you go, here's $1 billion. It's just being consistent and showing up and having a little bit of a plan. Like if I was going to do YouTube, like a new YouTube channel, and do it the right way, because I definitely didn't do the right way. You start off like figuring out like what is my niche, who am I here to serve, how can I help them, what am I going to help them with? So like usually it's whoever we are or whatever we've done. Like I was an addict when I was, younger. So I could come in and help addicts to overcome addiction or to embrace spirituality instead of heroin. It's like I could go on that road. Or I could do the starseed thing because I'm a starseed that had a starseed awakening. I help other people figure that out. Or